Zizi Kodwa has resigned today, about an hour after appearing in the Specialised Commercial Crimes Court. Kodwa was arrested earlier today on charges of corruption along with former EOH boss Omry Makgoale. The pair have since been released on 30,000 rand bail each. The charges emanate from Kodwa being implicated in the State Capture Commission. The Zondo Commission alleged he accepted bribes totalling about 1.7 million rand from Makgoale. Kodwa was the Deputy Minister of State Security at the time of the alleged offence.
On the personal passports, they be kept with the IO till finalization of this matter. All the personal passports that you have, applicant 1 and 2. The last aspect, it pertains to the witnesses. That is the last condition. Now, the applicants should not have contact with the state witnesses. I'm going to request Mr. Makgoale to provide the list of the witnesses by end of today so that they know who the witnesses are involved, directly or indirectly. So there should be no contact with the state witnesses. Now your matter is transferred to court number 10. The matter is postponed to the 23rd of July, back to court number 10 at 8:30. It is for consultation as well as instruction.
Well, Omry Makgoale is been a long-time member, a veteran member, if I can say that, of the ANC. He's a commentator as well. Omry, good afternoon to you. So this has all happened very quickly. Zizi Kodwa appeared in court today. He pleaded not guilty. He then resigned as a minister immediately after that. Do you think the right process has been followed here? Is this good for the ANC in a way?
Yeah, I think it's okay what he did to resign from the positions that he might be holding now. So that he can focus on the case, so that he can focus on the case himself, because he is going to be going to court and he must prepare himself legally, get the lawyers and so on. I think he did the right thing, Comrade Zizi.
Do you think maybe other people could have followed his lead? I mean, we've seen some people trying to cling on to office. He did things very quickly.
Yes, I think it's okay. I mean, what he did promptly, it's really appreciated. It would be good, of course, if all ANC leaders who are charged can resign from their portfolios so that they clear their names in court and in various institutions before they can be redeployed into the ANC structures or be appointed into positions in state and so on. It would be good if they do that. But of course, others don't do it, and we accept people are not the same, of course. But it would be appreciated if they all did that.
Omry, I mean, I hate to be so cynical, but do you think you would have resigned so quickly if we weren't in an election period? If we weren't in a position where maybe he wouldn't have gone back to Parliament anyway, and he was on the NC's parliamentary list when we kind of all knew that this was coming, that he was going to be charged.
Yes, he was in the list, and of course, we as Veterans League had proposed that all the people who were implicated in Zondo Commission, the 97 ANC members who were implicated, should be removed from the ANC candidate list. But of course, we were not successful in terms of that because the SG office decided otherwise together with other members of the NEC. So they kept them in the list, despite the fact that we had proposed that all people implicated in Zondo, VPS, and other of these cases should be removed from the candidate list. We believe this cost us the vote also because some people were unhappy with this. Some of the voters were unhappy with this, and they did not vote for ANC because they saw this colorful list with all these people they know who are implicated in all sorts of wrongdoing. So for us, it's unfortunate that he did it now. He could have done it before and removed his name from the list.
In other words, there was all of this trouble for nothing. Now he's had to go. And it's really, in a way, the worst outcome. Would have been much better if all of this had happened a month ago. Yes.
I think, personally, I think that it would have been better if he did this 3 months ago because he was aware of the case and he was aware of how implicated he is. And it would have helped ANC maybe get 10 more votes, maybe. Because the list of candidates would have been without him, and we could have put somebody else there who, might have increased the vote for ANC. So it's unfortunate that happened, but it's politics. Some people don't want to resign even when they are under cloud, you know.
I'm sure you have some other examples of people who've refused to resign, Omry. There are other things that are happening here. I'm not going to ask you for, you can give them if you want. But there are other things that are happening here. And what we've seen since the ANC NEC, as it then was some time ago now, took the sort of step-aside resolution. In other words, if you appear in court, if you're charged, you have to step aside. Do you think that has now become ingrained in the ANC? And it's taken a long time. It's been a big fight, really, a big struggle. Do you think this is now accepted by everyone as ANC policy? If you're charged, you step aside.
Not really. Not really. Some people still hang around despite all that. And, some people who appeared in the Integrity Commissions, Integrity Commission with reports there that are compromising are still there, and they've not moved out. So I think it's unfortunate that the ANC failed really to clean itself internally. Now we are forced to be cleaned by the public, by voting us out and so on. And now we are forced, by the public to clean ourselves. We should have done it internally ourselves. Unfortunately, some people are still there who are charged or who are implicated and have not resigned. So they're still there. It is unfortunate.
Omry, if I may, I must ask you about the coalition discussions. We saw the press conference by the ANC's National Working Committee today. They say Mkhonto Wesizwe is sort of not returning their WhatsApps, I think. It does look now like the ANC's in a position where it needs to decide whether to work with maybe the economic freedom fighters, maybe the DA. There's some people in the ANC who really want nothing to do with the DA. There may be some who don't really want to work with the EFF either. It seems that a grand national coalition is on the table. What do you think the ANC should do?
Look, at the moment, I don't know, because I'm not privy to those discussions that are taking place. I'm not a member of the NEC. My own view is that, of course, they should have done what we call SWOT analysis to check coalitions, possible coalition partners, DA, EFF, MK Party, Freedom Fund Plus, IFP, all of them, they should have done what we call SWOT analysis to check the pros and cons of being in alliance or being in coalition with this particular, party and so on. And then on the basis of a report on each of the SWOT analysis, then they would come out with an informed decision as to which parties should be, we should go into coalitions with. But I don't know what they've done now. And as I say, I'm not privy to the discussions. We'll just see the results when they announce them, like anybody else in the media.
Do you have a view on which way the ANC should go? I think working with the DA is very difficult for the ANC. I think working with the EFF is very difficult with the ANC. There may be other options. Do you think there's a particular direction the ANC needs to avoid? Must they avoid working with one of those parties, maybe?
Look, Stephen, as I say, I haven't done the study myself, the SWOT analysis I'm talking about of each political party and how it will fare with the ANC in coalition. I've not done that. So I'm not in a position to give a concrete, informed decision on the matter. But what I can say is that, there are advantages of working with DA and there are also disadvantages. Also, there are advantages of working with EFF and there are also disadvantages. And there are disadvantages, of course, of working with MK political party. With MK political party, the problem is that it's led by the RET faction that used to be inside the ANC. And so the RET faction was fighting with Tumamina faction inside the ANC. So at the moment, if you want to work with MK political party, it means you are bringing back the two factions that were fighting inside the ANC, the RET and the Tumamina, to come and fight again. So that's more likely to fracture the ANC in my assessment. ANC is likely to fall apart if that happens, So I think there are other options that can be considered, working with other smaller parties to make the 41 seats that are required for the ANC to have 201 votes in Parliament. So, but as I say, I've not studied.
Sure.
I've not done concrete reports on this matter. It's just from my intuition that I'm saying that.
Well, it's your intuition in a way that we want, your experience, because I think this is very difficult for the ANC, and I worry that actually there may be no deal, that parties might not be able to work out a deal in 14 days, and that leads us to a very difficult situation.
No, I think there's always a way where when there's a will, there's always a way. So it's possible to find ways of working with some of these parties out there. First of all, we are all South Africans at the end, and we have to find common solutions to our problems, and we have to work together. As South Africans, we can't avoid each other. So we have to find solutions as South Africans to solve our own problems. So I believe if there's a will, there will be a way to find partners to go into coalitions with.
Omry Makgoale, thank you very much indeed. Veteran member of the ANC, really appreciate the time, sir.